So we all know that the Game Awards are coming up, and personally, I don't really care much for award shows, but I still think it's kind of fun to discuss who we think should win. And the Game Awards is a little bit more exciting, even though it's kind of stupid, but they do have trailers there, like new trailers for games that we've already seen, as well as trailers for games that we don't know about, world premieres. So that's always fun to watch. Today I thought I'd just discuss which games I think should win each awards, but I'm only going to be talking about the bigger categories that I care about, so keep that in mind. But without further ado, let's start with Best Game Direction. And the nominees are A Way Out, Detroit Become Human, God of War, Spider-Man, and Red Dead Redemption 2. Okay, so I'd say most of these are pretty good picks. So personally, A Way Out, I played that with my brother and I thought it was a pretty good game, but I don't think I would necessarily be giving it awards. I think it was a little overrated by critics personally. Detroit Become Human, I honestly thought was a very mediocre game. I'm not really a big fan of Quantic Dreams games. I play it anyway, and there were certain elements of it that did definitely impress me, but I don't know. I'm kind of hoping that it doesn't win any awards because I don't think it really deserves it. But yeah, the rest of those, God of War and Red Dead Redemption 2 are currently tied as my game of the year, and honestly, I think I would give most of these awards to these games. Spider-Man is also really good. That's, like, a runner-up behind them for me. Spider-Man was close to being my game of the year, but not quite. So personally, I think I would give this award to God of War. I think it had a very interesting cinematic style with the whole one-shot thing, and the game is also just extremely polished and really well made, but I can also say the same thing about Red Dead Redemption 2, so either one of those, Spider-Man, not a bad choice either. And the nominees for Best Art Direction are Assassin's Creed Odyssey, God of War, Octopath Traveler, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Return of the Obra Dinn. Okay, so I haven't played Return of the Obra Dinn. I honestly hadn't heard of it until now, so I can't really give my opinion on that one. I literally know nothing about it. But so Octopath Traveler, yeah, I'd say that's a good pick for Best Art Direction. Overall, I really liked Octopath Traveler. I thought it was a really cool RPG, but I was also a little disappointed by it. I didn't end up actually finishing it. So, but yeah, it definitely had a cool art style to it with sort of like the HD pixel art kind of thing. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I liked Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but I have some big problems with it, and I think it deserves some of the nominations it got, but not all of them, and I'll get more into that later. But yeah, Best Art Direction, it was a really impressive game visually. I mean, the graphics were incredible, and the way that Greek was designed, the way it looks, it just is incredible, and so I wouldn't really be too mad if that won this award. And God of War's art direction was also phenomenal. They really made you feel like this Norse mythology-based fantasy world was real. Like, there were so many cool environments and so much cool architecture in it. And the graphics, again, were also amazing, and Red Dead Redemption 2 also had, phenomenal graphics too. But, so, I think for this one, I either wanted to go to God of War or Octopath Traveler, because I feel like those were a bit more unique than the other ones. But yeah, honestly, I'm fine with any of these really winning, except for maybe Return of the Obra Dinn, because I haven't played it, but I don't know, maybe it looks amazing. Best Score and Music, presented by Spotify, of course. So this one is actually a very important one to me. I feel like soundtracks are very underappreciated when it comes to video games. I think it is one of the most important aspects, because I feel like a good soundtrack can really elevate certain moments in the game and make them more memorable to me. But anyway, the nominees are Celeste, God of War, Spider-Man, Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom, and Octopath Traveler. Okay, so wait, is there another one? Oh, and Red Dead Redemption 2. That's right. Okay, so I absolutely 100% want Red Dead Redemption 2 to win this award. The soundtrack for that game is phenomenal. It's one of the best aspects of the game, and there's so many different tracks. There's like at least 10 tracks on there that I think are great, and I would gladly listen to on my computer or on my phone. God of War, I think, also had a really good soundtrack, but there weren't that many particularly memorable tracks. There were maybe like 3 tracks in there that I thought were memorable. I think Celeste also had a cool soundtrack. Celeste was a good game. I personally didn't like it as much as other people did, but I definitely enjoyed the game, and I think that would probably be my second pick, maybe, for best soundtrack, just because it was very unique, and I hope that it wins some kind of award, like best indie game. And what was the other? Oh, yeah, Ni no Kuni 2. I also like Ni no Kuni 2. I thought that had a pretty good soundtrack as well. Spider-Man, Spider-Man didn't have that great of a soundtrack to me, to be honest. I thought it was a little generic and kind of forgettable. Like, I honestly can't remember very many tracks, so yeah, I guess that's the one I would least want to win, and definitely Red Dead 2 is who I'm voting for. Next, we have Best Performance, and so let's see what we have for that. We have Brian Deckhart as Connor from Detroit. Okay. Christopher Judge as Kratos. Melissa Thief Mahut, I hope I pronounced that right, as Cassandra from Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And Roger Clark as Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption 2. And Yuri Lowenthal as Peter Parker. Okay, so these are all decent choices. I think the one that I least agree with is the one for Cassandra. I think that the actors for both characters, I think she did better between those two. I thought the person who played Alexios was really annoying. But I don't know, I don't think her performance was that amazing. Like, it was definitely good, but I don't know. Christopher Judge really killed it as Kratos, and Roger Clark did really good as Arthur Morgan. Arthur Morgan was a fantastic character. Yuri Lowenthal did great as Spider-Man. And Connor from Detroit, he was my favorite character in Detroit, and I like playing his sections the most. But I don't think I would necessarily give him the award for that. I think I would either go with Christopher Judge or Roger Clark. Probably Christopher Judge. I feel like he really gave this role his all, and he just had an amazing voice that really fit the character. Alright, so next we have Best Indie Game. So for this we have Celeste, again, Dead Cells, Into the Breach, Return of the Obra Dinn, and The Messenger. Okay, so the only ones of these that I played are Celeste and Dead Cells, and I think those were both great games. I think I would maybe give the slight edge to Celeste. I feel like Celeste was a little bit of a better experience because it had, in my opinion, a better soundtrack and a better story. But I would also be totally fine if Dead Cells one. I forgot that that was nominated. But yeah, Dead Cells, I feel like had more satisfying gameplay, but like I said, Celeste was a better overall experience and was still pretty fun. I don't care about best esports game, so let's move on to best narrative, a very important one. So we got Detroit Become Human, God of War, Life is Strange 2, Spider-Man, and Red Dead Redemption 2. Wait, is that it? Yeah, that's it. Okay, so I would not give this to Detroit because, again, I just feel like Detroit was a very mediocre game. I feel like it definitely had its moments, but overall the story was, kind of shitty. Honestly, I didn't think that, I hated Marcus's character, and I didn't like his whole storyline. I thought the other characters were okay, but overall I just thought it was mediocre like the rest of the game. God of War had an incredible story, very emotional, would definitely be okay with that winning. Life is Strange 2 I didn't play, I'm not really interested in the Life is Strange series. Spider-Man had a really good story, it was a lot better than I thought it was, and I said that in my review, but probably wouldn't give the award to that one. And then Red Dead Redemption 2 also had a phenomenal story. In some ways, maybe even better than God of War, but honestly, those two are tied for me as far as best narrative goes, and I would be perfectly fine with either of them winning. They were both very thought-provoking, very emotional, had great characters, and great character development, and yeah, just fantastic moments, so either one of those, I'm fine with them winning. So the Games for Impact category, that's, I'd say that's an important category, but again, the only one of these I played was Celeste, so I guess, that one should win. It had a very good message about mental health and depression, which I can definitely relate to a lot, so, yeah, Celeste wins that one for me. So, best audio design, I don't care as much about this as I do about soundtrack or original score, but, audio design is still pretty important. It's important for maintaining a player's immersion. And so the nominees for that are Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Forza Horizon 4, God of War, Spider-Man, and Red Dead Redemption 2. Okay, so, honestly, I'm fine with either of these winning. I think it's probably going to go to Forza because they have great car sounds, I guess, very realistic. Red Dead Redemption 2, I think for the most part had good sound design, but I also noticed that the punching sounds were kind of weird. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really care who wins this one, honestly. Best debut indie game, didn't play any of these, so I don't really know and I don't care. Best mobile game, don't care about mobile games. Best VR/AR experience, I didn't play any VR games, but the ones that they've nominated actually do look pretty cool, so I might give them a chance. But I'll read you the nominees. It's Astrobot Rescue Mission, Beat Saber, Firewall Zero Hour, Moss, and Tetris Effect. Sorry. Yeah, all those look like pretty cool games, but I haven't played them, so I can't really pick a winner out of those. So then we come to Best Action Game. We have Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Dead Cells, Destiny 2 Forsaken, Far Cry 5, and Mega Man 11. So I guess this is games that are just purely about the action. So I haven't played Call of Duty Black Ops 4, but my brother has, and he said that he hated it, and I'm not really interested in playing it. Like I said, Dead Cells is a good game. I don't care about Destiny, don't care about Far Cry, didn't play either of those. And Mega Man 11, I played the demo for it. I'm not really a big fan of Mega Man. I cannot really get into that series, so I guess I don't have any picks for this one. I guess Mega Man, sure, why not? It still seems like a good game, but yeah. So now, best action adventure game. I have actually played these games. I think I might have played them all, but let's check. Let's check them out. So, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, God of War, Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Okay, so don't give this a Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I might make a video about Shadow of the Tomb Raider, but I was very disappointed by that game. It was easily the most disappointing game of the whole year for me, so I definitely don't want that to win. Which is a real shame because I'm a big fan of the Tomb Raider series. But Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I don't really think that should win either. Even though it's an awesome game, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I feel like these other games are a lot better, except for Shadow of the Tomb Raider. So I think I would probably give this to God of War, just because it felt the most like you were going on an adventure. But I would also be fine with Spider-Man or Red Dead 2 winning. But yeah, I'd probably pick God of War for that. Best RPG or role-playing game, Dragon Quest XI, Monster Hunter World, Ni no Kuni 2, Octopath Traveler, and Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire. Okay, so the only ones I played from those are Octopath Traveler and Ni no Kuni 2. And like I said, I like both of these games. I didn't, love both of these games, but I think I would probably give it to Ni no Kuni 2. I feel like I had a little bit more fun with that, especially the combat. But I definitely think that Dragon Quest XI is going to win because it seems like that was the most popular of these games, and Dragon Quest has been around for a while, and a lot of people love it, so it'll probably be that. But I guess I would vote for Ni no Kuni. Alright, so best fighting game. Let's see what we got here. So we've got BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. Don't know what that is. I think I've heard of it, but I've never played it. Dragon Ball FighterZ or Dragon Ball FighterZ, Soul Calibur 6, Street Fighter V Arcade Edition, and that's it. So I haven't played any of these. Soul Calibur 6 looks really fun, or maybe that's 7, I don't know. That looks like a fun game. I want to play that, and I really like the Street Fighter games, but I've never played 5, and I heard good things about Dragon Ball FighterZ, so I feel like that's probably the one that's going to win. It seems like that one got the most publicity of those picks, so yeah. But let's see, best family game: Mario Tennis Aces, Nintendo Labo, Overcooked 2, Starlink Battle for Atlas, and Super Mario Party. Okay, so I played a couple of these. Mario Party would probably be my pick, because I've had a lot of fun playing that game with my family. It's a great party game, as would imply, especially the main Mario Party mode. And Mario Tennis Aces was also a really fun game. I was surprised by how much I liked both of those games. Didn't play Nintendo Labo. Didn't play Overcooked 2. Starlink I also thought was a really good game. I was working on a review for that game, and I don't know if I'll finish that video, but yeah, I really like Starlink, so I'd be okay with that winning too. But I feel like best family game should go to the best game to play with your family, so therefore I would definitely give it to Mario Party. Best strategy game, don't really care. Best sports/racing game, the only ones that I care about are Forza and Mario Tennis, even though I haven't played Forza, but I have a lot of respect for the Forza series, and Mario Tennis is a really fun game, like I've said. One of the few sports games I've actually gotten into. So yeah, best sports game, best multiplayer nominee. So we got Black Ops 4 again, Destiny 2 Forsaken again, Fortnite, Monster Hunter World, and Sea of Thieves. So I forgot to say what my opinions were for Monster Hunter World. That game isn't really an RPG, so I don't get why that's in the best RPG category as well. But whatever. It's a good game. I've played it. I played it for about 10 to 15 hours or so, I don't really remember, and I like the game, but I didn't really love it. It's not really... The Monster Hunter series has never really been my thing. So, but I think of these, I would probably pick that. Haven't played Black Ops 4, like I said, or... Yeah, was Monster... oh, and I've also played Fortnite. That didn't come out this year, though, and I don't really like Fortnite, so... Monster Hunter World gets my pick, I guess, by default. Best esports player, don't care. I don't know who any of these are. I don't follow esports. Best esports team, again, don't care. Best esports event, don't care. Best esports host, don't care about any of the esports stuff. I am not an esports follower. Content creator of the year, I don't care about any of these. Best student game nominee, I don't know who any of these are. Alright, best ongoing game. This is kind of an interesting one to me. So, the nominees for that are Destiny 2 Forsaken, Fortnite, and then the big one, Game of the Year. So we have Assassin's Creed Odyssey, God of War, Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2, Celeste, and Monster Hunter World. I think these are all pretty good choices. I think the only one that I'm a bit iffy on is maybe Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I thought that was a really good game, but I don't think it necessarily deserves Game of the Year for me. You know, I kind of got tired of playing it after about a week or so, and it seems like the game got good reception overall, but not as great as like these other ones. It feels like this one was just kind of picked so that they could have 6 nominees. And like I've said before about Celeste, I didn't really like that game as much as other people did, but at the same time, it's cool that an indie game was nominated. It's a very well-made game, so yeah, it kind of makes sense to have it on there, and I'm okay with it being nominated. And, you know, Monster Hunter World, you heard what I said about that earlier. I'm okay with that being nominated too. Don't want either of those to win. But yeah, Spider-Man's also a good nominee. Like I said, that was close to being my Game of the Year, but not quite. And then God of War and Red Dead 2. So these ones are, like I said, they're tied for my personal Game of the Year, and I honestly am having a very hard time deciding between that. So, on the one hand, I feel like God of War is an all-around, it's a more well-rounded game. You know, it has... You know, fantastic gameplay, fantastic graphics, fantastic story, great controls and everything. But I feel like Red Dead 2, it has a lot of that stuff too, minus the great controls, even though I don't mind them as much. But anyway, I feel like Red Dead 2 impressed me more, and maybe... I don't know if I would say had a bigger impact on me, but yeah, it impressed me more from an artistic and technological perspective, but again, I'm totally fine with either of these winning Game of the Year. I think I would maybe give the slight edge to Red Dead 2, but like I said, either one. I think which one will win Game of the Year is definitely Red Dead 2, because it has the most critical acclaim, the most people have played it, it sold the best, so I think that is without question going to win, but I don't know, maybe God of War also has a decent chance, I think. The rest of them I don't think really stand a chance at all, honestly. So yeah, that was my thoughts on the Game Awards. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about these nominees, and I'll catch you again next time in the next video. See ya!